Everybody, good morning. Happy Tuesday. This is the morning show here on Stock Market TV. I am Spencer. I have Steve and JC and Alfonso with you this morning. What are we going to talk about today? I wonder. I actually do wonder. I actually don't know. There are days when I have a somewhat robust list of things that I want to discuss, and there are days when I have a less robust list of what to discuss. But it doesn't even matter because what I want to discuss oftentimes doesn't matter, right? It's what JC and Steve want to talk about. So let's find out what that is. We'll have Kenny Glick stop by. Yeah, no guest today. I'll be back on the guest train tomorrow. I promise. We'll get some guests in this show. But no guest for today. So here we go. What up, chat? How we doing, guys? Having a good Tuesday? Sam says Crypto Tuesday. Crypto Tuesday? What? Sam, go home. You're drunk. Okay. Here we go. Where's my bumper? Let's get it.
All right, we back.
Hey, we got JC from the beach. We got Strazza from the Keys. And me from the hottest place on earth, New Jersey.
I'm in New Jersey, for the record. New Jersey, underrated state. Who's giving New Jersey more love than me? Seriously. Anybody who loves New Jersey more than me?
I don't know.
I was down in Cape May last night. It was so lovely. On Monday nights, they have like this carnival thing. Good eats there, man. Over at Congress Hall down in Cape May. Lovely. And it was like 200 degrees, but you had like a nice wind blowing. You know, a little water gets you good, man.
That's my dirty little secret. Is I've lived in New Jersey almost my whole life. I've never been to Cape May. Which is like a Californian. I don't have a good analogy for that. It's like a Floridian never going to Key West, right? That's a good analogy. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's the Keys in general.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's very far south. We're basically east of DC. So when you think of New Jersey, it's the last thing you think about, but technically it is part of New Jersey. In fact, Cape May is so out of the way that when you leave Cape May, it says, "Welcome to New Jersey." There's a big sign as you're leaving Cape May. It says, "Welcome to New Jersey." That's how hilarious it is.
That's right.
Also, Cape May is where, rich businessmen and, wealthy families from the late 1600s would go on vacation. This was like one of the first places that Americans, like civilized Americans, would actually go on retreat and go on holiday and stuff like that. So, and then the whole town burned down in the 1870s. So that was a bummer. So the whole town burned down in the 1870s in Cape May. So then they rebuilt it all. The Victorian architecture was very popular at that time. So the whole town is all Victorian homes because of that. It's actually really fascinating.
I think these days they call that quaint.
Maybe.
All right, let's do some state of the markets, and then Strazza will come on.
All right, do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Dow futures up another 280 points. These shorts are getting squeezed. Short interest has been some of the highest that we've seen this century, comparable to only the COVID levels, great financial crisis levels, European debt crisis in 2015. The short interest is as high as it was in only those periods. Liberals are as angry as they've ever been, and they're all getting the crap squeezed out of them, and nobody feels bad for them. You need people, particularly humans, making poor choices for us to make as much money as we've been making. So shout out to the angry folks. We love you. So Dow futures up 280 points. S&P 500 futures up 0.75%, 61.21 for the S&P 500. NASDAQ 100 leading the way today, up a full percent. That's 220 points for the NASDAQ 100, pushing 22,300. 30-year bond futures down 0.33%, just under 114. You got crude oil down again, down another 4.4%, back to 65. You got copper up 0.75%, 488. Gold down 2% and change, 33.20. Silver down 1.4%, 35.66. With the VIX getting smoked, back to 18. Over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin. Bitcoin 105,000 flat this morning after a monster move yesterday. You got Ethereum. Ethereum just above 2,400 flat on the day again after a monster move yesterday. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum consolidating. Solana at 144 again consolidating after a monster day. Solana up 15 points yesterday. That's almost 10% off the lows. And of course, total crypto market cap. Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.2 trillion for total crypto market cap. Mr. Steve Strazza, love the outfit today. Shout out Irish. What stands out from this morning's futures?
I think the cryptos are dipping and ripping out here. Look out for follow through today. Probably can get some nice entries on a lot of these charts. And I also think that crude oil, the reaction yesterday was one for the textbooks.
I told you in the morning, and you were like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, bro, how is oil not up right now and down from the open on Sunday night? And you were like, I'm like, bro, that's a big deal.
How long was oil in like the high 70s? Like 2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Like a second.
A second?
It front ran the price action crude oil, more or less front ran everything. And by the time it was over, the trade was just getting slaughtered. Investing is easy.
I think
see that toxically masculine man on the internet who talked about how he was buying crude oil futures.
Toxically masculine man?
No. What is his name?
No,
you guys didn't see this? It went like viral Sunday night.
The guy that eats the liver?
Is it David Goggins? Isn't it?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, the guy that runs forever.
I don't know.
You know that guy used to be really fat?
No, that's not him though. Hold on. I have it in my DMs. You have to watch this. It was very funny. Yeah, he came out big like live stream thing, made a whole Andrew Tate.
Oh, that dude? Oh, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andrew Tate
come on.
Predicts oil prices to skyrocket during the Israel-Iran war.
Great. What I was going to say was I think last night may have been my favorite thing that Donald Trump has ever tweeted or posted on social media. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. I think
that lasted for 30 minutes.
I love the please part. I think that's what we've been missing all these decades is we weren't saying please. I love the fact that he said please.
A lot of pleases and thank yous.
Do not violate it. I think that was awesome. We need more pleases and thank yous in society. So that was great. 10 out of 10. I have no notes. It was great.
He's also talking a lot about like the things you shouldn't say while he says them, whether it's the N-word or regime change.
Yeah,
some really funny stuff coming from the social.
He's on a bit of a heater at the moment.
But the ceasefire, Spencer. So we have a ceasefire, and then they're immediately in violation of the ceasefire. How do you enforce a violation of a ceasefire?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
All right. Enough with these crazy people.
One more war take. Yesterday, the market rallied, more or less on the fact that the United States is just really good at war.
Yeah, we're the best at war.
Well, did you hear what the orange man? Did you hear what the orange man said? The orange man, he doesn't really curse, right? You rarely see Trump cursing, and he was just like, "These two countries have been fighting for so long; they don't know what the fuck they're doing."
No, that's also true.
He just walks away.
You said that?
You said that. That was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. He goes, you don't hear him cursing.
And
I like it though. I'm into it. I'm into him cursing. All right. I just want to throw up slide 2 there, please, for those keeping score at home. The S&P Technology Sector Index. This is the largest weighting in the S&P 500. One can even argue this is the most important sector in the world. Has never traded this high ever in history, even going back to the dinosaurs. Technology as an index has never been this high ever. Let me ask you this, Mr. Steve Strazza. Is something like this normally a characteristic of a bear market or an environment that we should be spending the majority of our time looking for stocks to sell?
No. I mean, dude, the market just looks so good right now. Go find yourself a bull flag and buy it and bet on some new highs.
Go find yourself a bull flag. I like that.
Find yourself
that's
a
a
bull
tweet.
flag.
Go find yourself a bull flag. Go find yourself a bull flag. Get involved. Throw up slide 5 there, please. Because we talked about how angry the liberals are, which is fantastic. We talked about the short interest off the charts, which is fantastic. And then this one here, Spencer, if you want to zoom in, take our mugs off so people can really see what's happening here. This one coming from, this is a collabo from our friends over at Fundstrat. Shout out Tom Lee and good old Bank of America, showing that the fund managers are underweight the United States, more underweight than any other asset class in the world. This is as the stock market is making new all-time highs. How do we feel about that, kids?
I love it.
I would love to see this chart change over the last 8 months, right? I'm sure it has shifted. I'm sure it was the exact opposite 8 months ago.
That would be an accurate assessment, Spencer. Well done, sir. Well done. Someone's paying attention.
Yeah.
Spencer, remember the envy of the world? How the United States was the envy of the world?
I do.
I think this trend has gone a little too far, too fast.
Oh, yes. Really?
Yeah.
You think people might be getting a little ahead over their skis with this whole?
Yeah. The whole dump America, dump dollar stuff.
All right, but hold on. Throw up slide 5. It's not just America, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just America.
Who else?
We are seeing some serious people are scared. People are scared. Strazza, look at that put volume in the Euro stocks. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average of Europe.
As of when?
This was last week. This was last week's put volume.
Okay. All right. So that'll look strange on the chart then. Because usually this blows out at lows.
It usually blows out at lows.
Yeah,
so just think that's a great way to look at it. This usually blows out at lows, and here we are near highs, and they're buying insurance like they fucking it's going out of style.
No, but JC, this 0 DTE stuff is just ruining our options data. It stinks.
No, it's not.
It stinks.
No, it's not.
You don't get that kind of reading.
How many times are we going to go talk about the put-call ratio, and then a couple of weeks later, every time we do this, you're like, oh, yeah, that put-call ratio you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, that was spot on. How many times are we going to do this? Are we going to do this dance again?
If you ask 20 technicians right now about this data, 15 of them would agree with me.
Oh, because I give a fuck what those technicians are doing?
I'm just telling you.
You know how many times those technicians you're mentioning are hating on what I'm doing, and then I turn out to be very right, and most of those technicians you're mentioning are broke. Remember that?
No, they like
the angriest technicians that you see out there on the Twitter, they're broke.
No, right? Stop it. They like you.
True.
Look.
You know, I get a call from a CMT every single day looking for a job. Every single time.
Okay, stop. Okay. Listen, you have to agree with me that if you were to line this up with the price chart, it would look a little different today. With such a high reading after Europe has done what it's done over the course of the past 2 months.
Slide 3, please. Slide 3, please. I just want to give a big shout out to both Spencer Israel and Israel as a country, right? Shout outs to all the Israels, the Spencer, the country, right? This is the MSCI Israel ETF, which, fun fact, 2/3 of this ETF is just technology and financials. So shout out to the Israels. And new all-time highs again. And this isn't something new. Israel outperformed the United States last year. You never hear anything positive coming out of Israel. Everybody's always complaining, with good reason, to be fair, but nevertheless, complaining across the board about what's happening in Israel, and the stock market just gives a big fuck you to everybody, and it keeps going up. Shout out to Israel. Shout out to Spencer Israel, new father. All the Israels are winning.
This is mostly cybersecurity, right? This is a lot of cybersecurity.
Are you not? Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Spencer Israel?
No.
Two-thirds of this index is technology and financials. So no, it is not all cybersecurity. That is a fake news. Fake news,
well,
Spencer.
Cybersecurity is technology. So
cybersecurity is part of the technology sector that is part of that 2/3 of the weighting that is technology and financials. So how many of those financials are in cybersecurity there, Mr. Spencer Israel?
Maybe, hey, for all you know, maybe there's one. I don't know. I don't know what goes on over there.
Well, with a name like yours, you should find out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think you want to be careful with the defense stuff and the cyber stuff here too. That's you want to treat that almost like oil. I think there's a cap on that trade for now. Throw up my Teladoc chart because
they're talking about it in the chat.
Yeah, I see Teladoc talk in the chat, Robert, and we were talking about it, and we had the trade all written up. The calls were picked out. We were ready to go, and yesterday's tape was a little funky, and I didn't want to press the gas too much, so we held off the Teladoc. We put on 2 others, but not the T-Doc. And boy,
dude, this T-Doc looks great, bro.
I wish we did, but
dude,
that happens.
This T-Doc. Do we have a volatility compression?
Look at
reading there.
Oh,
I didn't even see the chart. Look at guys.
The trade was written up yesterday morning, and now it has certainly left the station, and it will not be put on. This is one that would have doubled by the afternoon.
Hold on, what is TOST? This is not Teladoc?
No, don't worry about it. We were charting fast yesterday. That's the wrong ticker. That's Teladoc that you're looking at. Ticker is wrong on the chart.
Oh, shame on you guys. Come on. That's a chart. That's a chart crime.
Do you guys want to know why Teladoc left the station yesterday? I'm sure Steve knows.
Citron's been tweeting about it incessantly.
Yeah. Citron.
Didn't those guys go to prison?
There is no those guys. There is the one guy. He's just one person. And famed short seller Andrew Left is going super balls to the wall bullish on Teladoc. So
he loves it.
He loves it.
Oh am I.
What do you do? Long T-Doc, short Hims for the Parets trade?
No.
Just
buy T-Doc and shut the fuck up.
Hims had a hole blown in it yesterday. The CEO was going after Novo Nordisk, and I thought that was an interesting move for them.
So what are the chances that we wake up one morning and this piece of hot garbage is cut in half, T-Doc?
I mean, it's already happened plenty of times along the way.
I mean, this son of a bitch was at
308 is your answer.
Dude, this was in early 2021, just as all those crappy Kathy Woodstocks got smoked. This is one of those poster childs. This one never came back. This was at 300, got down to 6. So it never got to 0.
Yeah, it was in a 98% drawdown. Now it's only in a 97% drawdown. So it's off the mat a little bit.
It's been down 40% in the day before. Yeah. Real true piece of garbage here, the Teladoc.
It's still a $1.4 billion market capitalization. Fun fact. How's that short interest these days?
So just to be clear, we're not buying it here.
What's this we stuff? The short percentage of the float's only 14.7%. Short ratio is 4. You'd think it'd be higher, right?
It's not much.
It's not much. Wouldn't you think it'd be higher? I assumed it would be. New short interest comes out tomorrow night, by the way. New short interest comes out tomorrow night.
If you want a short squeeze right now, they are squeezing the lemonade, and you're going to see squeezes across the board in housing. It already kicked off yesterday and really Friday. Look at like just the past couple of sessions and something like Builders First Source or Toll Brothers. Like these stocks are ready to go.
Dude, we went through it yesterday, man, when we were in the meeting that you skipped last week.
We did.
Remember?
Speaking of home builders,
Strazza, by the way, Strazza's a big deal now. I don't know if you heard, Spencer, while you've been gone. Strazza's coming up in the world. He's a very wanted man. Getting calls from very important people.
Yeah.
Strazza, don't let it get to your head, buddy. We all know how that goes. You're doing well. You're having a hell of a year. You're kind of a big deal now. Just don't let it get to your head.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to protect my screen time.
Stay humble, right? You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I appreciate the fewer meetings and initiatives like that. I'm just trying to protect my screen time. I'm trying to guard my time out here. I need to be staring at the tape.
Anything I can do to help you out. But speaking of home builders, did you guys see KB Home for the second time this year? The year was only half over. For the second time this year, they're lowering their full year sales guidance.
So this is important. This is so important. Bad report. Yeah. Objectively bad report. Okay. These guys, these guys have not been able to hit earnings for several quarters. Not even close. Right. They're reducing and missing consistently. If KB Homes rips higher with the rest of its peer group today, which it looks like that's what the homies want to do, that's awesome. Because what that tells you is that from an earnings sentiment perspective, it's all baked in, right? The market knows about these terrible reports. The market knows KB Homes is going to, lower their guidance again. And it's over it. It's priced in. So if KB Homes can rip higher, put in a nice green stick here today on the heels of what was a pretty trash earnings report, that tells you that's going to be major information that's it for the home builders. The lows are in. And I think they start looking more like other stocks soon. I think home builders can make a rapid move out of this coil. They're so tight here, the home builders. Really tight, big polarity zones. I think big moves are coming. Do you want to buy housing stocks with me?
Fuck yes!
I'm talking Zillow. I'm talking Wayfair. I'm talking Rocket Companies, Builders First Source, AZEK. You need new flooring.
No, I think that's too cute. I'm not saying that you're wrong. In fact, you're probably going to be right. But I think you go straight to the builders. You buy the Lennar. You buy the Pulte.
Good.
You buy the Toll. We set the levels. Those levels get triggered. You buy that shit all day. I like the derivative plays. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just love how clean the builders themselves are. And I love the short interest, right? Like all these angry liberals that are the most bearish that they've been like this millennium, they're shorting something. What are they shorting? They're shorting regional banks. They're shorting the home construction. These are what they're shorting.
And guess what? Other big banks are buying regional banks. We had some news yesterday. I think Northern Trust, NTRS, got a nice pop on some M&A news, holding on to those gains. And yeah, I'm with you, JC. I think the cleanest way to do it is just through some of these builders. And you have a really nice, diverse group, and you can kind of like pinpoint certain regions if you want to make more specific bets with the builders. They're regional in nature. But check out that AZEK Trex ratio. Trex is a no for me. Stay away from the Trex. That's old materials. Look at AZEK Trex. AZEK is kicking their ass.
What's
the difference?
Trex decks anymore. They're too hot. They get too hot.
Mine is great. I got no complaints about my Trex.
It doesn't get hot as it does here. Okay, we can't use them here.
AZE. What is it? AZEK.
I like it. I'm into the Trex. I want to throw up one more quote there, and we'll bring in a one Kenny Glick. Throw up there that slide too.
Oh, yeah. Bought nail calls yesterday.
Throw about their slide
too.
Boy. Steve Strazza, just as a reminder, this comes from the great philosopher from Bed-Stuy, one notorious BIG.
You did this. He really did this. Oh,
this comes from Jay-Z's. What is it? My first song. This is right at the beginning. This is that intro to the song. I'm just trying to stay above water. Just stay busy, stay working. Puff told me this is the infamous Puff. Puff told me the key to this joint, the key to staying on top of things is treat everything like it's your first project. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your first day, like while you was an intern, right? That's just stay thirsty, stay hungry, stay working. Right? Don't forget.
We did a sandbar day last week, and a lot of Puff Daddy being blasted through the airwaves.
Puff Daddy's okay. It's the Diddy that's the problem. You see, the Puff Daddy's okay.
They were blasting the Daddy, the old hits, 90s jams.
All right, speaking of old hits, why don't you bring a one Kenny Glick in the house? Bring him out.
Segue.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Reyes.
Kenny Glick in the house.
You want to talk old school? I
Yes.
worked at Arista Records when he wrote that lyric, man. I was there.
How about that? How about that?
I was there hanging out sound scan. We used to print them out. I used to run around Arista Records, Clive Davis included, and just give all the data reports of how well their records were doing. I got called into an office. There's Puffy and a couple of executives, and they say, "Here, white kid, come here." I get called in, and they throw on Hypnotize, and I'm watching the video before it was released with them in this big whatever this was, like this the editing chamber, all these things on the wall, and I'm just bouncing to it, and they're like, "All right, you seem like you like it, beat it," and that was it. That was my critique of Hypnotize. I was there when it was just about to be released. Fun times.
That's how old Kenny is. I remember riding my bicycle to Specs on US 1 and 136th Street when I was whatever age that was, whenever that album came out. I rode my bike to buy the double album. The Hypnotize had already come out before the album dropped,
Right. Cool, man. And if anybody needs any Tony Braxton or Crash Test Dummies CD,
Tony Braxton, dude.
I've got cases of them in my house.
Dude, I had the hots for Tony Braxton.
I met her too. She was a very sweet girl. And Crash Test Dummies, as well as who was big at the time? Ace of Base. If anybody needs any Ace of Base, I'm your guy.
Ace of Base.
Yeah.
You saw the sign.
I did see the sign, and I've got 300 copies.
Kenny Glick wearing his bull market shirt today. I like
Yes, because last night I haven't slept. I was doing the Corbinite triple Lindy maneuver yesterday, and I came up with a concoction of the QQQ going to 1,040 on April 20th, 2028. So let's just all sit back, get your flowery shirt on, and I'll wait. Let's just wait for it. We're never going down again, everybody. Woo! Everything's priced in. Get Strazza on the phone. Everything's priced in, my man. Everything's priced in.
1,040 by April
2028. And when it's there that afternoon and you're going, I can't believe this is actually happening, because when I called Dow 20,000 about 2.5 years before it happened, people thought I was nuts. I made a video about it. Remember that video I did? And I was off by a week on the Dow 20,000 call. So listen, this bull market has I'm up all night just doing math now. It's so exciting, this bull market. But all kidding aside, just what I've been doing is what I used to do. Make some money as a day trader, buy some Qs, and my favorite stock, which is now SRAD. What's up, SRAD lovers? We're about to hit all-time highs. So that's what I'm doing. Again, I'm the most bullish bear there is. The market never goes down. So anytime I make a little bit of money, I put it into the two stocks that I pretty much own, and a little bit of Palantir. But it's a fantastic trading market. HIMS yesterday was awesome. Just there was another rollover, got paid on that. And the core weave finally got paid on a core weave short. And, then it came roaring back. But, same scenario today. Not many names to choose from. So I'm sticking with the same babies. ASTS been treating us really well. Looking a little blow off toppy today on ASTS, and what a beast! Yeah, monster. And guys, if we were looking for it to get to 50 on Friday, and again, part of that, when you hear the word manipulation and rigged, I believe in that stuff. So when you don't get to a milestone on a Friday, it's because there's options involved, and it was a triple witch. I thought it was maybe a quad witch. They couldn't get to 50. More often than not, when you're that close to a milestone on a Friday, you get there on Monday. So yesterday was a nice day to get over 50 on ASTS. So we'll see what we do up here. Stock tends to consolidate and sell off a little bit, but man, I'm thinking this thing's going to 80, no problem. I got, I'm putting on long-term call spreads. No, I'm only kidding, but I do like the name.
What else is on? What's on the move this morning, Kenny?
I'm looking at some of these. There's a couple of biotech stocks, and this one I was familiar with. NXTR. Okay, you already had the pop. It's coming back to prior day VWAP, which was around $19. If this news is legitimate enough to hang in there, I'll be looking to buy this thing. Around 19. NXTR. NXTR.
No, NKTR.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need glasses. Yeah. NKTR.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean,
Nectar Therapeutic.
Yeah, it's drifting down right now. I've had some fun with this stock. I traded it back in the day. I know a little bit about it. So again, support around $18. So if this news gets sold off into, but it holds that 18, I'm going to be a buyer probably on a turn around 19 bucks. But you know what's interesting? I'm looking at Uber. Forgot about that boy. Closing in on 90 again. This thing, I like Uber. I think inevitably they have to take over Lyft, and this thing's about to go back into the hundreds. What else was on my list? I had a couple of weird ones. I was.
Well, you had Carnival. They report in like 10 minutes, I think. So.
Oh, really? Okay. So hold on to your hats. What I was a fan of was shorting all those garbage energy stocks. And most of them were up just because of what was going on in the news. And most of those stocks had no business where they were, like RBNE. That was an easy short. That was 22 bucks when I spoke to you guys on Friday. It's at 5 now. So I'm still looking at stuff like that. INDO, NINE, all these garbage stocks popped, and they were just easy to be crushed. But again, I'm just so super bullish right now. It's hard for me not to want to just buy the Qs. We're so close to all-time highs. I'm looking for consolidation, and I'm probably just going to join in on the Qs today. But if there's any volatility coming along, if UVXY pops for some reason, maybe I'll change my tune. But again, it's hard not to be bullish.
All right. Listen up. Kenny is in his trading room every single day that the market is open. Hitthebid.com. Also, if you missed yesterday, his very first episode,
that was fun.
The long and short of it. He'll be
hell
back.
Of a pilot, Kenny. Hell of a pilot, buddy.
Kenny was supposed to go live for a half hour. He got on such a heater. He went live for like an hour 15. He'll be back live tomorrow at noon right here on the channel and on the site, stockmarkettv.com. So noon, mark it in your calendars. Kenny doing his thing.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. I didn't expect it to be a live trading show. It was more a review, but we had some trades going on at the time. So
under promise and over delivering. That's how to do it around here, baby. No big deal.
Expect nothing. I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's all an illusion. Thank you. See ya.
Adios, Mr. Kenny Glick, ladies and gentlemen. I like that he brought up the Uber. As I mentioned, all these angry folks are shorting all kinds of stocks. Transportation is one of them. Fun fact for those who are unaware, Uber was added to the Dow Jones Transportation Average last February, as a matter of fact. Shout out to the Uber. So if they're shorting the crap out of transportation and you're looking for a squeeze, that's a tailwind for the Uber. Is it not?
I love Uber, dude. Long term, and it's at a perfect level here, and it's coming out of a nice multi-month coil. So, like, Uber's perfect. I think it's perfectly actionable here, also against the low 80s.
Are you getting a little bit of software exposure there, Strazza? Or do you think that this is, like, are you getting tech exposure? Or is this transportation through and through? How do you think about this?
I think of it as a Mag 7 stock. I think you're getting mega cap growth exposure, right?
Wow.
This is one of those cash cow businesses. It's an ecosystem play. They absolutely own our phones. You treat it like a Mag 7, I think.
I helped my mom schedule an Uber for later today on her phone today. She had never scheduled one before.
Dude, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Listen, say what you want about Uber, but what a platform. It's just an excellent product.
Why do people hate on it?
Well, they had early startup problems, like a lot of companies.
Why? Because they had to break every law in the world in order to that's why.
Like 10 years ago. But
people didn't like that Travis Kalanick guy very much.
Travis is the CEO.
Yeah,
Travis is the founder. I don't think he's been the CEO for 7 years at this point.
I thought that documentary was excellent. Sometimes they do a really nice job with these. What do they call that when it's like a there's a word for it when it's like a little documentary style show about a company or a real thing. What do they call that? Anyway,
docudrama?
Yeah, it's like a docudrama. Is that it? It's on Amazon or Apple, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Kalanick, and it's really well done.
Yeah, it was good. I should watch it.
It was awesome. You would like it. You would like it. Really. They have such a cool story. And I just want to clarify. I saw something in the chat. Everything that went out to break out members yesterday was correct. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. We thought about putting Teladoc on. We decided not to. We did put out 2 other trades, and everything that hit your inbox about them was correct. I bought some Teladoc calls. Patrick bought some Teladoc calls. Members did not buy some Teladoc calls. It's a fast market, JC. You know, listen, we were up 1% yesterday, down more than 1%, up almost 2% into the close. It was a real choppy tape. Like if you weren't there for the session and you just showed up at 4 o'clock, you're like, oh, nice, right? Good day for the market. Everything finished really strong, looked great. But throughout the day, it was a little bit shaky at times. So I was just a little uncomfortable with the tape yesterday. That's it.
How high do we think this Uber goes? You want to throw that up there, Mr. Israel, there, slide 2?
I think it goes so much higher, JC. I think this is
we know. Everybody knows. But what's
$100
the
billion
next level? 135? Is that right?
This is going to be $1 trillion company one day.
Wow. Like that, huh?
Yes. Yep. Dude, they'll
$1 trillion.
deliver you golf balls. Come on. Dick's delivery.
One of my favorite charts is just the all-time market cap chart.
They got Dick. They got Dick's delivering balls.
They deliver dicks. Yeah.
All right.
The all-time market cap chart of Uber versus Lyft is just a sight to behold, because Uber was always larger, right, by quite a lot. Uber was like 4 times, 5 times as large at one point, and now it's 300 times as large. Yeah, it's just.
I was hanging out with some government guys last night, and some people who work in Department of Defense and White House and other places, and a lot of talk about Starlink. They were telling me about like Doge and how they went through a lot of these government contracts that were just absolutely worthless and wasteful. Really interesting stuff. Anyway, super bullish on Starlink, these guys. Super bullish. How about these videos of the rockets exploding? Did you guys see the video from last week?
I saw the one last week, but I don't really know what to make of it, because Starlink, I mean, they have rockets explode all the time. I thought that's kind of isn't that?
But they shouldn't live stream them with the commentary and an employee like, holy shit, like they don't.
I don't know.
Do that.
That's kind of what they do, though. Like they have so many launches that sometimes things explode, and I don't know. It's not like a big deal, right?
It's really funny. Everybody should go watch it. The thing like blows up, and at first he's sitting there like all nonchalant, like talking, and then he just goes, "No."
Oh, all right. Maybe it is a big deal. I don't know. It just like it seems like there's been so many of those over the years that
it happens all the time. You're absolutely right.
I don't pay much attention to it. So, yeah. All right. I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm kind of waiting for Carnival. Usually reports like 9:15, so I'm kind of waiting to see what they say.
Really just dying for that Carnival report, huh?
Yeah. What is your story with Carnival? Like, who gives a shit?
Well, they used to always piss me off because pretty much every company reports earnings from like 6 a.m. to like 8:30 a.m. right, and except for Carnival. Carnival is like and Berkshire, right? Berkshire's on a Saturday, but Carnival is like, no, we're gonna report earnings at like 9:15 right before the open, just to piss everybody off. So that's just what they do. I don't know why. But
can we throw up a chart that I'm particularly interested in while we wait for that very, very important report?
So important.
So I think
it's a quiet news day out there. There ain't much going on.
It is. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So I think you lean into the banks here. You lean into these interest rate sensitive areas. I think ARC breaking out of this base on relative terms says one thing about the bond market: rates are going lower. That reversal, by the way, comes undone and fails miserably if rates don't go lower, I think. So Fed's cutting at the next meeting. I told you guys all yesterday. And I think banks are going to
say that. And then I saw somebody else say that yesterday too, by sheer happenstance.
Yeah. No, it's happening. A lot of people are saying. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
It's not the most original thought. But rates are going to come down, and they're going to put a bid. Housing stocks, banks. Look out for biotechs. Biotechs have been trending really well over short and intermediate term timeframes now. By the way, they're like the only thing in healthcare. Isn't that funny? The real interest rate healthcare stocks are working, while the rest of them are not. So I think you want to buy the banks, and if you want to get really groovy, right, and buy a funky one with a lot of juice and make a bet on crypto.
Did you just say get really groovy and buy a funky one?
Yeah, you can get groovy with the Kubi. So
what year is this?
This is Kubi, Customers Bank Corp. This is a crypto bank. And if you zoom out and look at like a weekly or a monthly, this is one of the most ridiculous long-term coils that you will find in the market right now. Throw up the chart. I mean, that is toy. Do we have the weekly though? I mean, it's just toy as a toiga, and you gotta love it. I think we're coming out of this range. I think this is one of the most risk-on plays within banking. This is way out on the risk
So
spectrum.
this is a pure crypto bank, right?
I don't know if it's pure. I don't know if
Oh,
anybody
okay.
could really be a pure crypto bank. I don't
Okay.
think it's pure crypto bank, but this is the crypto bank for now. Remember what happened to the last two crypto banks. And so, remember. Right, Jason?
Do you remember? Because you're talking
I
about
remember.
buying. You're
Me
talking
and
about buying this
Strazza,
thing.
me and Strazza remember well. We were behind the scenes, hearing what was happening, and it was not pretty. These communists do not like people making money.
And you know what? That's why administrations do matter for stuff like this. Crypto was tough to touch under Biden. These businesses were
Crypto
under
was
fire.
tough to touch. It was the coal stocks that you wanted with Weekend at Bernie's there. It was the coal stocks, which is hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was even a moment. I love Coinbase, been a long-term bull. There's a moment where I was like, I can't be this long something like a stock that's literally fighting with the SEC. Like you just can't at a certain point.
Fighting with everybody. The SEC was just a part of it, right?
But the regulatory environment today is all for these guys, right?
Yeah.
They're not walking in and shutting down crypto banks. That's literally no longer a risk. So big difference from buying the Silvergates and the signature banks of old, I think.
Big shout out to Dawson in the chat talking about how Tesla's now up 50% since our friend Tampon Tim was doing his little shimmy there. I recall vividly, Dawson, I don't know if you recall, I recall vividly one Spencer Israel telling me that I'm overthinking it and it doesn't matter and that we don't have to talk about it. I recall one Steve Strazza telling me that that I shouldn't be trading the stocks that are so in the news and controversial. Remember that, Dawson? Because I do, and I keep the receipts. And that trade may have just bought me a house in the Poconos. I don't know, maybe, but yeah. I may or may not be closing on a house in the Poconos, Steve Strazza, by the way. So we might be having an offsite. We might be having an offsite there soon. Spencer Israel wins. He's not too far away. Phil Perlman wins. He's not too far away. One Patrick Dunawilla wins with that Poconos house. We'll see. I love the woods, city kid my whole life. I love the woods. I just like peeing outside.
Not really a woods guy myself. So
you always want what like you can't have, and like I grew up in such a city and then I lived in New York City forever. And I remember living in Manhattan in the concrete jungle, if you will. And then we'd go out to like my friends' cabins, like upstate New York and all kinds of random. And I remember just being so happy. Just being out in the woods on a lake, like it would make me so happy. So like the fact that like I get to do that for my family, who probably has less of an appreciation for it because they're growing up in the woods more. But, I'm into it.
I was
shout out Tampon Tim. Thank you.
Spencer might have been this way too, but like growing up, that's all we did. Like all of our activities were we would get off the bus and be in the woods until it was dark. Doing God knows what.
I'm from the suburbs, man.
I'm
from suburbia. We didn't have a ton of woods. We had some, but hey, look at that. Carnival. Carnival's out.
All right. Look at that smile.
Right, a top line beat, a bottom line beat. Look at CC. Look at it go, everybody.
Dude, Spencer hasn't smiled like that since his kid was born. Look at that. Look at that smile. He's turning red. Look at him.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So tell us, was it as good for you as it was for me?
Yeah, it was fine. Fonz, did you have anything from the hot corner, which we haven't talked about for a minute here on the show? I saw the Hyatt thing. Hyatt bought do they buy or do they add? It wasn't a new buy. It was just an add, I think, to their stake in Playa Hotels, PLYA. That was kind of the big one there. But was there anything else on the hot corner today, or I think that may have been it.
Are you asking me or Alfonso?
I don't know. I'm asking anyone.
I'll tell you a hot corner name that stands out. Virtu Financial. It's down here pre-market this morning. But this one just looks so good, breaking out of a massive, massive base. I'm waiting all my life for this pattern to break out, I feel like. And they had just a sweet.
Yeah, every like 4 months you mention this one, and then I bring it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's up like $1.
This is a long-term favorite for sure.
Yeah,
sure. Love the Virtu.
It's got no beta. It's got no.
And then, so can you explain to the folks what makes Virtu so like special and different?
It has been rumored that this company literally doesn't lose money. They make money every day, and they used to tell us that as their auditors. We don't lose money. We're not buying and selling, right? Unless we're making money. It might be a penny, but we're making money, and we're positive of that. In fact, they were making so much money on such a high volume of transactions when I used to be their auditor that we couldn't count it. And their counter to us when we would say, guys, like the transaction detail of your, daily activity is breaking our computers. Our computers were literally blowing up trying to audit these guys. Just because of the level of detail you had to drill into. And they used to say to us, but we're positive we're not losing money. We can show you that we're making money like day after day after day. And they were, and they do, and they've been doing it for a long time now. So it's not the sexiest business. It's not the most fun. They're a market maker. I would call them more of a high frequency trader. They would call themselves more of a liquidity provider. These things are all the same. They pay a nice.
See what they did there?
By,
You see how they flipped that on its head? Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, we're not high frequency traders. We're providing liquidity to the marketplace. They're not wrong, but it's nice how they spin it like that.
I've worked at.
I think you know why they do that. I think they probably do that for the communists. You know how the communists like in Congress and stuff, they don't like it when people are making money. If they spin it like they're adding value instead of just being capitalists making money, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think they're spinning it for that, so they keep the communists away from them.
Speaking of capitalists, this company is run by, I think, the best group of capitalists I've ever met on Wall Street. I've spent a lot of time in a long list of financial institutions over the years, met a lot of smart people. I've never just been so mind blown at just the level of intelligence in a room. These guys are literally the smartest people on Wall Street. They're absolute freaks. From the people running the company to the people sitting at the Bloomberg terminals, on their operations floor. Just the smartest people I've ever met in my professional career. I think you're in such good hands owning a stock like this for the long run. Shout out Virtu.
Yeah.
Shout
out Virtu. Market makers for the win. All right. Let's
they also own the Florida Panthers. Shout out Florida Panthers.
No, he's not the majority owner. He's just a owner, right? I think he's just
yeah, I think, and that's the same situation with the Nets for them, him and Vinny. Doug Sifu and Vinny Violin. They might own all the Florida Panthers. I don't know. Shout out Florida Panthers. Who would have thunk it? Miami being so good at hockey.
It's not just Miami. It's Florida. It's Florida. I don't know if you realize this.
I hate to break it to you, but the Florida Panthers play nowhere near Miami.
Do they? Oh. Yeah, they do. One town up.
Nope.
One town up. Nope. One town up, sir. So
don't tell me how many Cubans they got in that.
Hey, I've been to that arena. I'll have you know.
I'm sure you have. It's probably closer to you than it is to Miami.
Did they play roller hockey when you were growing up?
No.
Okay.
Cubans play baseball, bro. What part of Cubans play baseball? Maybe a little boxing. Cubans play baseball, bro. Cubans don't know anything about hockey, roller, or otherwise.
Spencer, did you play roller hockey growing up?
I did.
Of course, from New Jersey. They got ice there.
We used to play roller hockey at Randall Park in this fenced-in basketball court where you literally you'd wreck people into the cage, the fence, and it was just so hardcore. Our backyard hockey games were just so.
Growing up in Miami, we didn't go north. We went south. The only reason we'd go north was to go to Disney World once in a while. Sometimes we'd go west to go to the beach out there on the West Coast. When you get to college, you go party in Gainesville and Tallahassee, and that's it. That's it.
Did anybody
on the West Coast? Shout out
West Coast, Marco Island. Shout out to Naples. Shout out Sanibel. Shout out Anna Maria.
Wait,
Marco
did anybody
Island.
do
Young JC
what I did?
Good times down in Marco.
Over the weekend.
I love the Marco Island.
Yeah, me too. Good times. I haven't been there in a minute.
Did anybody, when they saw the news of the Lakers selling, the Buss family selling the stake in the Lakers, did anybody pull up a list of companies that are around the same valuation as Lakers, just out of curiosity? Because
how many billions is it going for? 5?
It's a $10 billion valuation, which puts it in the same class as U-Haul and Doximity and Skyworks Solutions and
the Lakers are way better than any of those.
And who else is in that neck of the woods? JM Smucker, who likes jelly, DaVita, which is the name of
Here's the deal with sports franchises.
GameStop is $10 billion.
Okay. So. These assets are worth whatever the wealthiest people in the world are willing to pay for them. They're the same as artwork. You can't value these things. It's going to keep going up and up and up and up. They are truly some of the rarest assets on earth. And there's just going to be bidding wars for these teams every time. And the valuations
it is the only
astronomical.
investment. It is the only investment that has never gone down.
Dude, it's an incredibly rare asset, and the wealthiest people in the world are the ones who are after them. And the valuations for these teams are going to continue to skyrocket over time.
Yeah, I'm into it. I actually have an NBA fun fact for recess. And Robert Pesci, Fort Lauderdale, highly underrated. Totally agree. I only started hanging out in Fort Lauderdale. I partied a few times there when I was in college, but not that often. I've been going down with my wife lately. They got a Four Seasons right there on A1A. They got a Ritz right around the corner from the Elbow Room, which is like a super historic bar in Fort Lauderdale. Totally into it. Amazing. Steve Strazza, highly recommend you and your lady friend take a little detour there to Fort Lauderdale. Go enjoy yourselves. Go to the spa. Treat yourself.
We've hung out in Fort Lauderdale once, but one crazy night in Miami that somehow ended in Fort Lauderdale, downtown Fort Lauderdale, and it was fun.
You and me?
A lot of fun. No, not you and me. Rose and I.
I was gonna say, damn, I don't remember that.
No, I don't think that happened to us.
All right.
All right, let's do a recess and hop out of here.
All right, so I want to talk about this one coming from the Hater Report, talking about SGA now leading OKC to a championship. People think that we can officially call this the worst trade of all time. I'd rather flip that on its head and talk about how it quite possibly is the greatest trade of all time, depending on what side you're on. If you're the Clippers, bad decisions as usual, par for the course. But if you're OKC, does this not go down as the greatest trade ever? Dude, you got a guy who's always hurt and super lazy with no personality, never won anything. You ship him off and you change your franchise forever. I mean, what a trade. Spencer Israel, avid sports fan.
So
yeah, this is in the class this is in the conversation for sure. Greatest trade. So this is like the Herschel Walker of the NBA.
But do you see how the Hater Report calls this? I mean, it is called the Hater Report, so I mean, it makes sense. They're calling it the worst trade ever. Flip that on its head. By definition, it's the best ever.
The best trade ever. Yeah.
The Knicks, as bad as they are, they don't even make decisions this bad, right, Strazza?
No. But so what's the deal with this? SGA wasn't supposed to be as good as he is then?
No.
Okay. Wow. Great.
And Paul George not supposed to be as bad. Also,
yeah, he stinks. You're right. He is lazy. Yeah. He's not even fun to watch.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know if I have a recess.
That was a pretty good one, huh, Spencer? That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to me.
That was a good fun fact. Strazza, you're doing Spaces today at 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Can't wait.
All right.
In the meantime, find yourself a bull flag and ride it.
Find yourself a bull flag and ride it.
Yeah.
This is the way. All right.
It's a great line right there. Find yourself a bull flag and ride it.
You have it.
It's a great goal. It's a t-shirt. Anybody out there making t-shirts, that's a good one. Find yourself a bull flag and ride it.
Listen, Irish Kevin's too. I mean, if you're ever in Key West, you gotta go. It's like the best thing you could do.
Check out all the links in the description on YouTube. All of our free stuff is there. A lot of our free stuff is there. Hot Corner is free. Strazza Letter is free. Alfonso's Chart of the Day is free. Sign up. All those free things. We have actually we have a small army of free emails. If you go to our site, stockmarkettv.com, it's right there at the top. Get all the free stuff that we put out because we do probably 8 to 10 pieces of free content a day. Right. So, a lot of free stuff's going out there. Good research. So check it all out there. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll have a guest for tomorrow. We'll see. And Spaces at 11 o'clock. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Drop us a like and go make some money. All right.
All right, buddy.
Adios.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.